Good evening, and welcome back to Between the Sheets, where we take 12 years of marriage experience and give unsolicited advice to those who choose to enter our room.
So tonight, our conversation is going to be about a few foundational things that women look for in their potential mates, their soon-to-be husbands, or whoever or whatever they want to call them. We found a video on TikTok that kind of explained this, so we want you guys to tune in and right along with us.
Listen, y'all, I want to share with you three things that are fundamental for a healthy relationship for men and women. Men is what you need to do. Women is what you need to look for. Men, you need to provide. Stop. I'm not talking about just financially. See, that's the mistake we make. When we say provide, we think it's just financial. No, you need to provide security for a woman. You need to provide a safe space for her to be able to open her heart. A lot of times as women, we do not feel safe in communicating and opening up our heart because we feel like our heart is too much of a weight for you to bear. You sometimes come across like it's too much to carry and you don't want to hear it. Well, let me tell you something. When you don't want to hear it, then we shut down and we take our heart and we go somewhere else, right? I'm not saying we leave the relationship, but emotionally, we do leave the relationship. Protect. Listen.
All right. So the first thing, what do you have to say about that?
I agree. I think quite often we think of provide as just a financial thing, and it's more to it than just the finances. You have to, like she said, provide a safe space, provide a comfortable space.
Okay, so if that's true, right? Obviously, you speaking on women, on behalf of women.
I don't speak on behalf of women. I speak on behalf of me.
You speak on behalf of you, but in this sense, we're going to speak on behalf of women, right?
Okay.
If this is the case, right? So my question is how how do you provide a safe space? Like what does that look like to you?
Being open,
What is
me
that?
being able to come and talk to you about anything,
Okay.
no matter how trivial or how big, you allowing me to speak, being welcoming for me to speak.
That's it.
That's all I
So
got right
so
now.
basically what I'm gathering that you're saying is a man is going to need to create a space where he's just basically like not dismissing what she's saying.
Yeah. Like, I mean, so on a regular basis, you ask me simple things like, how's your day?
Okay.
And as simple as that is, it opens up a door that allows me to just talk about whatever's going on in my day, however I'm feeling. I feel like you genuinely care. It's not so much as like you sitting down and having a whole conversation, you just simply opening that door and saying, hey, I would love to hear about your day. That's, for me, that's enough.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't sound like it's too hard.
No, not at all.
Well, okay. Okay, I'll go with that. Let's move to the second one.
Listen, I'm not talking about just physical. Protection is just not physical. Protecting us emotionally, right? Protecting us from you, from your dysfunction and the unhealthy decisions that you make and the paradigms that you have and the ideologies that you've been indoctrinated with that's unhealthy for a relationship, right? Your job is to protect us from other people, protect us from your family. When your family attacks us or has something negative to say about us, it is your job to protect us. You don't put your family over your significant other, your wife, the lady that you're with. Also, profess.
Once again, I agree wholeheartedly. Protection
Okay.
does not just extend to physical protection. There's more to protection than that. There's once again, protecting our space.
So
So that is protection.
our space, you mean like our house?
Our relationship space,
Okay. All
our
right.
communication space,
All
our
right.
home,
Okay.
whatever that space is, definitely physical protection. emotional protection, making sure that you have taken care of anything on an emotional standpoint that you needed to take care of so that that's not bleeding back over onto me.
Okay.
Dealing with your past traumas, your childhood, past relationships, whatever you have that from an emotional standpoint has the opportunity or could be given the chance to affect me in some way.
Okay. Okay. I don't disagree with that. So the next one was profess, right?
Yes, the next one was profess.
Listen, ladies, let me tell you something. If you go out with a man, you guys are dating, you guys you made the commitment to be committed, and when you go somewhere and they introduce you and they say, "Oh yeah, this is Rebecca. Let me introduce you to Rebecca." They not committed. Listen, men, if you really down for her, you're going to say, "Oh, this is my girl, this is my lady, this is my fiance." Right? So a lot of times, men, you complain that women are not secure, but then you don't create a space for us to be secure. So all we have is the assumption based off of your behavior that we are not in a certain place that we thought we were. Provide and protect emotionally. Profess your love through us by how you take care of us in dealing with other people, how you present us when dealing with other people. Listen, it's a game changer and it's simple.
Once again, I love it. Ladies, in my humble opinion, any man that introduces you by your first name and then don't add a title to it, especially or most significantly, if you guys have made the decision that you guys are indeed in some way, shape, or form in a relationship, it's a little suspect.
But that's your name though.
Right. But I'm not gonna say, this is Bob and just stop right there.
Oh, so
you're not gonna
this
put
is
a
Bob,
title
my
on
husband.
it?
So okay, so it has to be a title.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
So no matter who you're introduced to,
I mean, we're talking about you're not going to introduce me to a stranger. It's a stranger. If you're introducing me to someone, it's someone of some significance in your life, even if it's a small significance, even if it's a coworker that you seldom talk to, but y'all in the same cubicle space, 5 cubicles apart, and y'all say good morning over coffee every morning. For you to say, hey, this is, Crystal.
My concubine.
Silence.
Right.
It's weird. It's weird. But also, I would add to that professing your feelings. Not even necessarily love. If you're just starting out in a relationship, it may not be a love thing, but profess how you feel. Let me know how you feel. That goes back to protecting and providing that whole safe space and that open communication.
So professing the feelings goes back into that as well.
I think it all kind of rolls into each other.
Okay. So all of that, so the professing rolls into the providing and the protecting?
For some of it, I think they touch each other. They're intertwined. Yeah. Now, what I would love to see.
Now, we're not done with this part. I need to make sure that everybody is following along because I'm trying to follow along, right?
Okay.
All right. So you're saying they're intertwined.
Yeah.
You need to expand on that because they're not really intertwined in my eyes, but they're slightly separate. I mean, I can see how you can look at them and be like, okay, well, this kind of connects to this and kind of connects to this, but you really gotta actually Lego those things together.
I just did. When you profess your feelings and how you feel, that goes back to
security,
to protection, to protecting my emotions because
Okay.
I'm aware of how you feel.
Okay. All right.
So that's an emotional situation.
I'm following you. Go ahead.
You get on my nerves.
Go ahead.
As far as providing, it goes back to providing a safe space, an open space for us to communicate.
Okay.
So we are honestly, we should be both providing a safe space for one another to communicate. And a part of that communication is how you feel about me. So that intertwines back into professing.
Okay. You don't have too much of a disagreement with me at all. But what I would say is, as we were watching this video, right, I kept sitting there waiting, trying to figure out. And, I should have known this by what she said in the beginning. She said, guys, this is what you need to do. Women, this is what you need to look for. That's what she said.
She did.
And when she said that, I really didn't know what was coming after that. So I kind of sat through the full 3 minutes. And even after sitting through the full 3 minutes, after the first time I watched it, actually on TikTok, I was like, let me go to her page, because there must be a part 2 to this, right? It's got to be a part 2. I could be partially blind. I don't know, but I did not see a part 2 on her page. And the reason why I was looking for a part 2 is because, listen, I don't disagree with what she was saying. I think men should provide those things. I think that will make the relationship great for the woman. But there needs to be a part 2, because if men are expected to provide and protect and profess these things to his mate, the woman, and this is what she's supposed to receive, then my question is, what exactly should the man be looking for in the woman? And as a father of 2 sons, you got to have this type of conversation with them, because here's the thing, right? Again, I'm going to reiterate before people get down here in the comments and start talking about, he's always flipping it. This is that double standard type talk. No, that's not what this is. As I'm going to say it again, as a father of 2 boys, you got to start having conversations with young men and young boys early on. Because I know for me, nobody had conversations with me about relationships, really. I was always just taught what to look for as far as what I should do for a woman, how I should treat her, what I should give to her, what she should basically be receiving from me. And that's generally, unfortunately, in the world that we live in, from movies to TV shows, to cartoons, to things you see at the store, things that are being marketed, conversations from family members, from parents, things you hear from teachers at school. Everything literally is marketed towards women, little girls, from a very young age. And boys are kind of in a situation to where, hey, well, what about us? What am I supposed to be looking for in a woman? What qualities should she be, showing forth to me, so that I can make sure I have chosen the right mate? Because here's the thing. Women aren't the only people that need to be choosing their mate.
And that's what I was going to say. You cut me off. I
wanted to say it first.
I would love to see a part 2 that speaks about what a man should be looking for in a woman, because we don't get a lot of that. It's just like you said,
we get zero.
It's all
of that.
Marketed to men. This is how you should treat a woman. This is what you should give to a woman. And women, this is what you should expect from a man. But I know, once, just like you said, for me, I was never taught what I should be giving to a husband or to a partner as a woman, as a wife, as a girlfriend, or any of those things. There is not really, it's not really talked about.
Women
to be honest,
women are natural receivers.
Yeah, we receive.
You just receive and receive and receive, and what that does, it creates a situation or a thought process that men are just giving the bare minimum. when they come with these things. Well, this is the bare minimum he should be bringing. He should be protecting and providing
But
and
what is our
professing.
bare minimum?
But exactly.
And I've seen, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this where they say, you give a woman groceries and she'll give you a meal. You give her a house, she'll give you a home. You give her sperm, she'll give you a baby. But
That's not innate though.
is not innate, one, and it's even
Well, the sperm part.
yeah, I was about to say that is kind of innate.
For
You can't
most.
really can't really mess that up. Well, you could mess it up in
Hey,
raising them, but whatever. That's
continue.
another conversation.
Continue.
What I was gonna say was basically you're not taught really how do you make a house a home. Okay, are we taught how? I was not taught how to cook. Let me just say that I taught myself how to cook. My mama didn't teach me how to cook.
Comments. It's different for everyone.
It's not untrue. That is not untrue. It is absolutely different for everyone. But for the vast majority, and from what we see on things like television and marketing, in cartoons, in storybooks and things like that, it is very much female oriented, and this is what a man should do to get a woman. There is not a lot of this is how or this is what a woman should do to get a man besides look pretty.
That's it. You just must be pretty. That at least that's what you talk, because it's a princess complex. You know what I'm saying? That's been forced on women, from a young age. So I don't necessarily blame y'all, but when it gets to a point to where now we're all adults, we kind of got to look at this thing in a more balanced type of light. You know what I'm saying? If you're expecting all of these things, which you guys call bare minimum from the man, I hate to put it like this, but what exactly is he receiving in return?
I put it like that. What is the bare minimum? Because just like he said, we have 2 boys. Okay.
And we can't be
I'm
sending them out
looking
here.
for some daughter-in-laws at some point in time. And I would love to have some daughter-in-laws that are actually wives to my sons, not just, pretty arm figures.
And let's be clear, you don't become a wife just by him sliding a ring on your finger and you saying,
there's a lot of wives who don't have rings.
You are a wife before that.
There's a lot of women with rings who are not wives.
Right. And that's 100% true. I think what needs to happen, we need to get to a point of teaching our kids how to be what they are going to grow up to be.
Right.
Because a man is really taught by everybody what he's supposed to do as a husband. And when I say everybody, I mean everything around him is telling him, hey, man, whatever you really want doesn't really matter. Make sure you do all you can. Everything in your life should be centered around getting to a point to where you can do things for a woman, for your wife. Make sure you get to a point to where you're able to physically, mentally, and emotionally protect her. Get to a point to where you can provide for her mentally, emotionally, physically. And as Auntie put it in the video, you need to be able to profess your love, create this space, make sure that everybody knows that this is your lady, this is your woman, this is your wife, and that you're proud for her to be that for you.
And all of those things are correct.
Right.
In our humble opinion.
Right.
All of them. These are all wonderful qualities, expected qualities in a man. The question is, and the bare minimum.
Right.
What is the bare minimum for the woman?
What is the bare minimum for the woman? But let's back it up. To be clear, this is the bare minimum to women. But this is pretty much what the man has to offer in this situation. That's the husband. That's him. You know what I'm saying? All of these things, they are all foundational to having, at least a decent relationship. So the thing is, what's the bare minimum? If you expect for him to be able to protect you from things like his emotions, things that he may have had to deal with in the past traumas. You in turn need to enter this situation whole. You need to have your past situations taken care of as well. That
Absolutely.
you can't expect him to come in and be, what y'all like to say these days, emotionally intelligent, but then you're not emotionally intelligent yourself. Like, how are you expecting him to be able to understand all your emotions and how to deal with them and understand his and protect you from his emotions?
Right.
But you are not in the place to where you're protecting him from your emotions, or you're understanding or actually controlling your emotions. Like, that's one thing. So the other thing is too, men need spaces too. Men need a peaceful space. He needs a loving space. And if he wants to have a conversation with you about his feelings or his emotions, I mean, are you going to dismiss his emotions? But not only that, are you going to actually view him the same after he expresses those emotions to you?
Yep.
Matter of fact,
that's a good question.
there's a study out right now that they conducted about men in relationships and them not being able to cry with their female counterpart. And it's not just because men were taught not to cry. What the study found was that women, almost all the time, after they see that man cry for the first time, do not respect him the same.
Why?
I don't know.
That's horrible.
They may say that, hey, I think he should be able to express all his feelings. He should be able to do X, Y, Z, and I'll still love him the same. But that study found that that was not true. So whether or not it's an admission or not, but it's possible that you may see him in more of a weaker light in that situation. But again, can't really blame you for that. It's conditioning of society. But now that we're at an adult age and should be at an adult mindset, even though we know a lot of people are not, we need to be able to see these things and rectify them. But like I said, yeah, men need spaces and a peaceful one. And it's not just men are just saying, hey, I don't want to hear you nagging or anything like that. I don't like that word because it just sounds like real old fashioned to me. But like, here's the thing, men, the good men, the ones that actually want to be husbands and providers and all this kind of stuff, usually in their mind are logically thinking that they are logical thinkers and they are natural fixers. So here's the thing, right? If you're going to be bringing him problems that he cannot fix, a lot of times a man, it's hard for him to actually process what you're going on. If I cannot help you, if you bring him a problem and you having an issue with a friend or a girlfriend or something like that, and it's nothing he can get into the middle of and fix, then, that may be something you need to take up with that friend. We're not talking about, bringing him every single issue. Men want to be able to help you with your problems. And if you bringing up every single issue, like a fight with your friend, he may be able to offer some type of advice logically and not emotionally. But if you enter back into that situation and do the same thing again, like, no, he's not really going to want to hear it and want to deal with that for the most part. But this is a situation to where, listen, men need those spaces as well. And men want you to profess your love for him too. Like, it's kind of the same. It's kind of a same trade-off for the most part. But also, it's a big thing. And I know most women aren't going to like it, but that submission situation is pretty much you got to do it. You just got to do it. And here's the thing. I'm not saying submit to a man that is undeserving of being submitted to.
Right.
But if you have a man that is deserving of being submitted to, this is the guy that is providing all the things we talked about earlier, right? Then you need to do it, because that is just you resting in femininity.
And
Period.
once again, like we discussed in a previous video, when you submit to him, he ultimately submits to you as well. Even if it's in a different way. And submission is not slavery. It is not walk all over. It is not you tell me what to do and I just do it. That's not what submission is. Submission is a partnership.
And please get it out of your heads, men and women, that the other side needs to do this first before you do X,
Right.
Y, Z. Y'all need to be on the same footing, to be completely honest. Because how crazy would it be if you're withholding your femininity from him because he's not providing everything that you need at that point, especially if you haven't communicated with him where you feel like you guys may be on different pages. And when I say communicate with him, I mean effectively communicate with him. Don't just be beating around the bush, or don't.
Oh, I had to learn that. I did.
And don't be direct. And along with not beating around the bush, please, 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 and this goes for both parties, watch your tones. Like,
I'm still working on it.
it's no need to be talking, raising voices and all this kind of stuff, or, belittling the other person. Like, you don't need to do that. But like she said, she's still working on it. And I definitely call her out on it every single time.
He does. He could be the maddest I have ever seen him, and his tone will still be like this. His volume will still be like this. I don't yell, but my voice definitely has an attitude in it.
Yeah, and it's no need to have an attitude, especially if I'm not talking to you with attitude. You're not going to be pleasant all the time, and sometimes your emotions will get the best of you. However, you have the responsibility of being able, or you have the responsibility to actually control your emotions and know when you're getting beside yourself. So, and that goes for both sides. That's men and women, because again, we're adults, and that's how adults and mature people handle things. There's no need to be fighting one another.
No.
Because once things start escalating, then both of y'all are outside of where you're supposed to be. And that's a recipe for disaster.
It is.
So
I would love to add, though, while we attempt to fix our adult selves in all of this, we need to work on raising our children already in this.
100%.
So we are already directing our sons and daughters in the way that they should be going, to make them emotionally available, allowed to express their emotions and feelings, especially our boys, so that they're not feeling like they have to just keep it all squashed down inside. What to look for in a mate, what you should be doing as a mate being sought out, and just all of those things. Like, let's just not say, okay, I'm working on me, and then just leave the kids out there to figure it out on their own. Because if you raise them correctly, if you raise them to understand these things, then they won't have to do what we're having to do right now and unlearn a ton of unhealthy stuff.
Right. And big emphasis on teaching your boys what they should be looking for in a potential mate. And also a huge emphasis on teaching your girls what they should be doing as a mate, along with what to expect. Because again, like I said, boys are already really taught by society in general, because the pictures are there, the shows are there, what they should be doing for women, but they're never taught what they should be receiving from women. And that's unbalanced. And a lot of issues come from that. And we got to fix that. Because listen, I want my boys to be able to find a wife. Right. I want them to be able to find someone that they don't have to worry about getting scammed, being talked down on, or being in a relationship with a woman that's putting her hands on them, and just all kinds of stuff. I want them to know what to expect. That's point blank, period.
Happy, healthy love.
And that's what I want them to go through. But yeah, I mean, Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Again, things go for both sides.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. And it's been a great talk. Peace.
Night.